is the Abby Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird and that's normal.
VM is all-encompassing. Voicemails, voice memos, vagina monologues. It's the shit that, like, we weren't intentionally recording.
Right.
Okay, so you're on an all-staff meeting.
Yes. You know, we're doing our all hands-on conference call with the entire company. And my boss happens to be the one that's leading the chat for this period, right? And it's great. The company is doing a monthly one and each department has their time to shine. This time it was my department and my boss's boss time to shine. So of course, you know, when my boss gets on and starts sharing the conversation that she had with one of her employees, specifically the conversation she and I had just had 10 minutes before the call, without saying my name, but giving every single signifier, if that's a word, identifier, you know, the person that works in this office and one of my direct reports with this title. I told her she wasn't thinking big enough.
Well, she basically was like talking shit about you in front of the whole company.
Exactly.
Like not using your name, but like describing how you were an idiot.
How I was an idiot for something that I reached out for support for in the first place. You know, we're talking
So
about
how did that make you feel?
in that moment, I figured the different ranges of anger that I've had, and I found that was livid for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In that moment, I discovered that that's a feeling I actually possessed.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a conference call and my laptop is set on the side and I have dual monitors. So I'm focusing on my other monitor, thinking that my camera was off. And so as soon as she drops that bit of information and shares it with the entire meeting, my instinct was to flip off the camera to the side. And, you know, I flipped off in the direction where the sound was coming from, not realizing that my camera was on. And I only realized that my camera was on when I glanced over to my other monitor and I noticed people just having this gasping face. Like they saw what I did and were in shock. In that moment, I realized what I had done.
You flipped off your boss in front of the whole company.
In front of the whole company.
Oh God. Okay. Now, why couldn't you see your little? Were you on Zoom or what platform were you on?
It was Zoom.
And so, why couldn't you see your little box with your face on it?
People on the call. If you're in the
people,
yeah. If you're in present or looking at the gallery presenter mode,
yeah.
Was, in my view, taking over the entire screen.
Got it. Right. And you were just like, F you, boss.
F you, boss.
Like, F you, boss.
Immediately, like in center stage of the camera. And I even held it for what seemed, 10 seconds.
Show me how you did it.
I'm like, you know, and I continue to do my thing on the side. And then when I glanced over, I'm like, because I see people doing that, what you're doing. As soon as I see people doing that is when I realized, and then I look down, and then I see my little green light that says my camera was on. And at that moment, I thought, so this is how I get fired. So this is how it happens. Yeah, I would not have imagined that this was going to be it, but
we also need to mention that this is a relatively new job. Like, how long have you been there? 4 months? What is it?
Just hit my 4 months.
Uh-huh. So not like super stable employment either.
No. You know, and the reason that I was upset, and of course there's so many reasons why you can just be upset at your boss, and it happens all the time. But I had been asking for support, like understanding something.
So bad.
You know,
I mean, both a bad boss and then also you flipped off the whole company.
ripped off the whole company.
Yeah. Okay, so did anybody bring it up to you afterwards?
I suspect that one person saw in my building because when I met with them, they asked me, so how's your relationship going with your boss? And immediately my instinct was, oh, I know you saw. Of course, my response was, well, it's getting better. It's a little shaky right now. The response was, oh, yeah, I can understand that, but you're doing great. And so it followed with the compliment. So I'm pretty sure that they saw it.
Right.
And I don't think that my boss saw it because she was presenting a slide deck and she would have been focused on her slide deck.
Totally. Right. Oh my God, so good. I'm so proud of you.
It was one of those moments that as soon as that happened, I think I went from, of course, like super upset that we had just had that discussion. She gave it as an example, but it also gave me this relief. Like, oh, you know what? I went out and on my terms. This is how it happens. It's fine. Now it's not my choice whether if I should leave. Now if it happens, it was out of my hands. And
Right.
it was a relief that now it wasn't a choice that I would have to make.
Yeah, it's freeing.
Now that apparently nobody has seen it, now I have to, again start kicking ass and working really hard again.
Right. Right. But
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you still have a job for now.
I'm glad to.